Well, Bob Geldof's legacy goes far beyond being a world-famous rock star. He's changed the world, literally saving lives. And he's not done. It's that time of year again, and he has a new version of his iconic Christmas hit.
It's Christmas time. There's no need to be afraid. At Christmas time, we let in light and we banish shade.
It's beautiful.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, you got a tear in your eye.
Yeah.
Bob Geldof is an emotional guy, and thank goodness for that.
Throw your arms around the world at Christmas time.
He's the man behind the song that didn't just make noise, it made a difference. And he's doing it all over again. So Bob Geldof.
Yes.
I mean, the one and only. I think there's something about when you sit down with that Irish accent that it doesn't matter what you say.
I know you're turned on,
We
I
just-
can tell. You know, you can barely speak.
You barely speak. Hang on every word.
Tell me why I don't like Mondays.
It was 1979 when the world discovered Bob Geldof. The #1 hit, I Don't Like Mondays, shooting him and the Boomtown Rats to international fame. But it's Geldof's humanitarian work that's made him a household name. So just think 40 years since that phenomenal song. Can you believe that time has passed?
Not really, but time telescopes itself in a life, you know.
Thousands of wasted people are coming here for help. Many find only death. They flood in.
Disturbed by a news report on the famine in Ethiopia, Geldof was inspired to write the 1984 hit, Do They Know It's Christmas? Enlisting big names, from Boy George and Bono to Sting and George Michael, to raise awareness and money. You know, I think there's something about those images, you know, those children in Ethiopia and that famine that are seared in our brains. But you really did something about it.
I sat down and turned on the TV, and here was this devastating thing that put, you know, my pathetic, puny personal problems in a horrifying perspective. I was sickened by it. I mean, that is really it. I mean, the Rats had been this very big band, and we're now finding it difficult to be played. That's really important, because otherwise I wouldn't have been home at 6 o'clock that night.
So you're saying it was good that you were washed up at 30?
We weren't washed up. We had a sold-out tour to do, and we are doing the huge festivals again this year, you know, in the legendary spots. So you and washed up, you know, not at all. But
Was it hard to get all of those names on board?
no, nobody whinged. Sting had, the Police were just about over, and he was transitioning to solo, so he was huge anyway.
But that goes to the power of you, right? That you pick up the phone and you ask these huge stars to come and help out with something like this, and they turn up.
Because I understood exactly what I wanted this record to do, there was a terrible urgency in dealing with the situation, that it didn't occur to me to be in any way intimidated by these people.
This whole thing is a one-off, which is a pity, but it is an extraordinary operation that came together just because people wanted to do something. So I'm glad we did it.
A one-off, it was not. 3 more versions have since been made. In 2004,
At Christmas time, it's hard, but when you're having fun.
2014,
And Christmas bells that ring there.
and now.
Well, tonight, thank God it's them instead of you.
Instead of recruiting new artists, Bob Geldof and his team mixed them all together, combining the greatest voices of our time.
Why is comfort to be feared?
It's so moving.
Especially Sinead. She was a great friend.
But what you created there, and everyone involved, lives on and it is so clear in all of our memories.
It's massively emotional, but I can't understand why. I guess because George is gone.
Yeah. Sinead is gone.
Sinead is gone. And then you just see sort of youth and all its beauty and talent and, you know, possibility, all of those things.
How different and how special is the 2024 version?
I personally think it's the definitive one, and there will be no more. The world has never been more fragile in my life, and I'm old. And I don't think people can take on board any more horror because they cannot absorb any more. But it's happening. And so when people say, well, if that's the case, Bob, was that record in 1984 worth it? And the answer unequivocally is yes.
And this proves why. Geldof face to face with the difference he's made at a hotel just a few weeks ago.
So there's a knock on the door and I'm there in my undies and scuzzy t-shirt and sleepy, and I open the door and there's this small little fellow in a neat suit and his name is Abidolo. And I can see from his face he's Ethiopian, and he's just staring at me, and I said, thanks very much. And he said, thank you for my life.
Oh, Bob.
And he said, you brought us up. He said, we were brought up in the orphanages and the hospitals that you paid for because of that song. And he just said, thank you for my son.
I love that it makes you emotional.
Well, it makes it very real. You know, it's all abstract. You deal with emails. You look at the tune, you know, it's all abstract. We live in a different world. But outside that window,
You know, I could have sat there for hours listening to Bob talk, and I almost did. And next year you can too. His Australian tour, An Evening with Bob Geldof, begins in March. And the new version of Do They Know It's Christmas is out now. So Bob is determined it beats Mariah Carey and Wham on the charts.